quick disclaimer before the video starts. I just want to say that the information in this isn't directly researched, so if it's wrong, I apologize, and I'm going to be doing more studied videos going ahead. Thank you, and enjoy the video. Good morning, chat. How's it going? It's not morning, it's actually 2:23 p.m., but yeah, making a video. I'm just doing some recording, some light recording. I felt like doing another one of these where I talk about just some stupid garbage that I talked about when I how old is this post? 2 years ago. So this is another one of my core posts that I'm talking about. But before that, thank you for 2,000 subscribers. That's really big. That's very, very cool. We hit 2,000 while I was live 4 days ago, which is really nice. I'm probably gonna stream right after recording this because, you know, I've been doing some streaming. It's fun. I do some promotion on TikTok, you know, the usual. So if you're interested, come check out the streams. A lot of it right now is Helldivers that I've been playing. That game is incredible, but I do plan on playing and doing some more stuff there. Anyway, which one I want to choose? So I chose, you know, this question, which was asked by some individual 2 years ago, and the question is the Eurofighter Typhoon jet a good fighter jet, right? Eurofighter Typhoon is like the European Union's way of making a standardized fighter. So I think it's it's a good looking plane. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it, okay? This is, oh man, as far as like European jets go, for the French, they got like the Rafale and all that other crap. I think this thing looks better than both of them. This thing is absolutely beautiful. I'm reading these and I'm not going to go too far into detail because a lot of this stuff might be out of date or inaccurate because I was just writing these out of my ass, if I'm going to be honest with you. Like, I have people that were really informed people, like, you know, I wrote this as like some 16-year-old kid, and I've a retired F-16 pilot. Like, there are some overqualified people in my comments, which is ridiculous to me. Because surprisingly enough, I was actually more successful in core than I am on YouTube, and man, it's just tough. Man, I got ripped apart. But I mean, it's mostly because people are just, everyone on core is a smartass, right? It's not that I'm wrong, just everyone's a smartass. But anyway, so I pretty much went into I started it out with saying, yeah, the Eurofighter Typhoon, it's a good fighter jet. It is. It's like genuinely it's a quality good. It had an objective to be that standardized multi-role fighter that Europe needed, and it works. Like, chat, type 1 if you agree that it's the best fucking thing they got. But yeah, so I mean, I said basically it is, but if you're curious, here's a little bit more. So I went into the general thing. It's a twin engine Canard Delta Wing multi-role fighter, and it was funded by a slew of the main countries in the European Union. It was originally designed out of the Future European Fighter Aircraft Program, which started in 1983 to design a multi-role fighter. Because at the time they had a lot of it they were using American planes and some Russian stuff and like other things that were in-house in European aircraft, but there weren't many. There were a few things, like maybe an F-16 here and there. Actually, I might be tweaking the I forget. The F-16 might be a couple years after that, but either way, wasn't that much as far as multi-role. And this is when that's when that doctrine was really coming into its own. Was like the early to mid '80s. But anyway, I went to some statistics. It has a top speed of Mach 2, pretty standard for multi-role aircraft. On the deck, that's Mach 1.25, so, you know, general stuff. It is actually capable of super cruise, which makes it more effective in functional military situations, because that's one thing that people like to harp a lot on in my comments, that it's not actual like flight speed and performance isn't that important, but things like super cruise, you can argue from a purely combat oriented focus, it's not as important, because, you know, you don't need super cruise when you're about to merge. But what is important is, you know, functionality, like combat range and all these other things. Super Cruise allows that, makes it very useful. So it is capable of Super Cruise at Mach 1.5 with the 0Jet EJ200 turbofans. Very nice engines, and that makes it one of the few 4th generation jets that can do that. So it's really nice for that. It has a maximum range of 1,800 miles, pretty solid. It has a combat range of 863 miles, and Alright, chat, I just want to say, in this next section, I positively did not cook in a single point that I made, so I just want to go ahead and say, the standout points of the Eurofighter Typhoon that I really like are the radar systems. I'm not going to go into detail with that right now because this is editing on Hatch, but that's the main thing that I think is, I go on a tangent about the stupid revolver cannon. Ignore that. I'm full of crap. What I'm saying is the main thing about it is that it is a 4th generation aircraft that is within the same functional expense or value as an F-16, but has a significantly better avionics than like a standard F-16 that you'd be seeing these days. Okay, so I didn't cook even a little bit. Just go with peace. All right, I'm probably gonna cut that part out. If you don't hear it, then I cut it out. And what I compared it to, because it was supposed to be that mainline flagship multi-role fighter, I compared it to the other two big multi-role fighters of that time, which were the F-16 and the MiG-29, right? Of the two main countries. All right, so what I said here is that logistically, the F-16 and the MiG-29 are better than the Eurofighter because they're cheaper and they're more reliable. That's a one issue with the Eurofighter, because it's more modern and because it has arguably better avionics and systems, that it's a more expensive aircraft to manufacture and maintain, and there are less of them compared to the stupid amount of F-16s and MiG-29s there are, right? But of course, that stuff is remedied with time. As there are more, there'll be more parts. But performance-wise, they're relatively similar. The main advantage... Alright, this is another editor on Hatch cut-in. So what I was about to go into were the flight characteristics between the three aircraft. I made a lot of mistakes there. So basically what I really mean to say, I'm gonna cut it out, but compared to these three, the F-16 is known to have, the best. It's the golden standard for modern fighter jet flight performance. It has very good sustained turn rate. It has very good roll rate, that kind of stuff. But then I would argue that because of the wing layout, the canard delta wing layout of the Eurofighter Typhoon, that it performs better than the conventional swept wings that both the MiG-29 and the F-16 have. So I would just argue that it's slightly better because it's better in the vertical and lower, higher airspeed situations. It will perform better than the F-16 and the MiG-29. This partially my opinion, but that's what I would say. So, take it with what you will. Rip me apart in the comments. I'm ready for it. Another pro I had with it is that it has the same armaments as, or very similar armaments as the F-16, because it's a NATO aircraft, right? So it's the F-16. So they share. That's one thing. If you want to argue against the logistics part of it, they have very similar armaments, like sidewinders and whatever other crap that you want, like AMRAAMs. The Eurofighter Typhoon is able to also use that, so that's pretty darn good. I mean, they're reliable, high quality munitions, and they're all over the place, so that's good. And you could argue that the gun is worse than the two planes, because the F-16 has an M61, right? An M61A1, which fires much faster, has a little bit more ammunition, and the MiG-29 has a 30mm autocannon, which you could say is more powerful. But in the reality, all of these are very fast-firing guns, and if you get hit by it, you're done. Okay, so I would say it's a good plane. Like, it works good. I think it looks sick. Dude, this thing looks actually monstrous. Oh my goodness. So I like it. I like the twin engine design. I'm a twin engine fan. I am not a fan of single engine planes, so the F-16. But it's good. It's nice. I support it. And now I'm gonna cry because I'm gonna be reading all these comments of fighter pilots that have flown in the Air Force for 20 years on me, my 16-year-old self. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like that, if you check out the streams, because I'm live every once in a while. I try to do it at least like a few times. I'm not set to a schedule, so a few times a week. The TikTok, I'm not. I just post clips on that. If you're interested, it's up to you. But yeah, hey, subscribe, like the video. Really, it shows that people like what I'm putting out, and I can know that to do more of that. But besides that, you know, hey. I'm on edge, baby. I'm on edge.